The idea that Deshaun Watson could be better by not having DeAndre Hopkins sounds like the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard associated with football in my entire life. But then I got into a meeting this morning with Greg McElroy, and he almost convinced me it makes sense. Greg, the floor is yours.
Well, I can only speak to this experience at the college level, not in the NFL, but I did have Julio Jones as my number one wide receiver at Alabama. And I remember vividly getting tunnel vision, at least early in my career, and thinking to myself, well, Julio Jones is my get-out-of-jail-free card. When in doubt, even if he's double covered, no problem. I'm going to throw it in his direction, and that way at least I can tell the tale when I get back to the sideline, hey, I look towards Jones, can't get mad at me. But as I got a little bit older, as I got a little bit more mature, I was able to understand and allow my feet to talk to me. I was kind of more capable of understanding and allowing coverage to dictate where I went with the football as opposed to getting locked in on one wide receiver. So it's not to say that he's going to be a better player with DeAndre Hopkins now in Arizona. But what I can say is it will help with his development long term, because he's going to stay within the system probably a little bit more and have a better understanding and trust in the other players that are going to be spreading the field horizontally.
Okay, so we heard that from the meeting this morning. We all had a chance to sort of ponder it. Jeff Saturday, what do you think?
Y'all are high. Whoever's saying he's going to be better than this, y'all have lost your mind, okay? Let me give you another example. I love Greg's example. Let me give you another example. In Indianapolis, we had Marvin Harrison, Hall of Famer. What did we go do? We went and got Reggie Wayne to compliment Marvin. Now we'll probably have two Hall of Fame, okay? You don't take your best player and say, hey, let's take away his weapon so we can develop him. Are we developing players or are we winning football games? I'm really confused here because I'm not worried about the development. I'm worried about wins. And you win with players, not plays. So to trade away your best receiver and say, man, it's really good for our quarterback, that's like getting a Ferrari and putting tricycle wheels on it. What are we doing? And whoever's selling this is absolute nonsense, man. If you're in the locker room, you want the best players. I don't need to hear about development.
I love it. Marcus, you're new to the party this morning. What do you think of all this?
I understand. I'm more in line with my man G. McElroy. Because, Jeff, I get it. Like, we're in the business of winning football games, but it's really tailored towards the individual. This was a guy that actually worked with Deshaun Watson as far as him becoming a better quarterback. And I get where he's coming from. I like G. You know, I love my basketball analogies. Did we not gather a new form of respect for Scottie Pippen when Jordan wasn't with him anymore? I think everybody took another step in how good Scottie Pippen was when he didn't have Jordan. Now, would we have loved and he have loved and the Chicago Bulls have loved to have Jordan? Absolutely, because they are trying to win games. But I think the point is that Deshaun Watson now has the ability to go out there with receivers that doesn't provide him a get-out-of-jail-free card, like my man Max said, and gives him the ability to go through progressions, gives him the ability to figure other things out outside of having DeAndre Hopkins. Now, if you ask Deshaun Watson, if you ask me, Jeff Saturday, anybody on this panel, would you love to have DeAndre Hopkins? Absolutely, Deshaun Watson would tell you that. But I think it will give him the ability to be different. And if that different makes him better, I think it's a great thing for Deshaun Watson. And I believe that's what's going to happen because Deshaun is dynamic.
Okay, it makes sense. I understand where both of you are coming from. Jeff, you're still shaking your head. You're still not buying any of this.
I understand when you're talking about, hey, can it make him better? Maybe. They had Hopkins and Watson had 25, the most of any tandem since 2017. I'm not worried about the development. He's already a baller. He's going to develop because he pushes himself to develop. I don't need to help the development by trading away my best receiver. Let's develop him by getting him more, not less. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Deshaun Watson. He's a baller, just not paid like he should. Why am I taking away? Hey, let's play with one hand behind your back too, Deshaun. Good luck, man. You've earned $1. Go get it. No way, man. Give the guy the best players around him. Let him go be here.
I think we all get it, and that's an extremely well-made point. And before we go to a quick break here, I will say that I am feeling a touch jealous every time Marcus calls Greg McElroy G. I've been G for 2 years on the show. And now all of a sudden we have Greg McElroy, and there's another G here, and we're going to have to work this out. I'm not going to lie to you. It is not my usual case to be a jealous person, but I will admit that I'm feeling a touch of G envy here, and we're going to have to work this out as the day continues. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.